Hello and welcome back to the Stacey West Channel, and welcome to another preview. We've got a Tuesday night home match on Halloween, in fact, against Oxford United, a team that have had a really good start to the season, not exactly the greatest form in the last few games, but still a really good outfit. And to talk all Oxford, I am joined by Alfie. How are we doing, Alfie?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. Not bad. Enjoying a nice lazy Sunday here. So.
Oh, good. That is. It's all right for some, I tell you. No, like I said, I don't blame you at all. So I kind of just jumped straight into it. I sort of alluded to it in the intro there. You had a really, really good start to the season in terms of you were joint really with Portsmouth only a few game weeks ago, and now suddenly you're still in second, sure, but 6 points behind Portsmouth. Two draws and a loss in there. What's kind of gone wrong in those last few games?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's just a bit of variance really in the particularly in September. I would say the home games against Exeter, which we won 3-0, home game against Bristol Rovers, we won 2-1, Stevenage 2. We kind of got into a habit of in the second half of games, even though we'd usually completely dominate first half, get a goal ahead. Usually in between the 50th to about the 75th, 80th minute, kind of take our foot off the gas really and let the opposition back into games. It was all right during September and early October because our defence was just that bit more resolute than it has been over the past few games. But, in those games which he ended up winning convincingly, it's because we got away with it and then we were able to kill teams off in that last 10 minutes. But, over the last few games, well, in particular, the game yesterday at home to Wickham and against Blackpool last weekend, we got punished for taking off the gas and letting the opposition back into the game, really. Even though, as I say, our kind of first half performances have remained consistent. So I'd say that's the issue that's kind of caught up with us for the last few games.
It's interesting because it's very similar to what we've had in the past sort of couple of weeks, smaller sample size, but last Saturday against Fleetwood, we were brilliant in the first half, kind of invited a little bit too much pressure on us in the second half, but we managed to keep a 1-0 victory. But then yesterday, we were 1-0 up in the first half, really good first half. Then the same sort of situation happened, but we just didn't hold on, and it was a 1-1 draw. So it's sort of a, like I say, a smaller sample size, but a very similar sort of aspect in that. And I also do a League One podcast, and I had the pleasure of talking about your game against Wickham yesterday. Certainly some interesting decisions in there. Certainly a bit of a mad game, wasn't it?
I think if anything can speak volumes of a refereeing performance, it's probably the calmest, most level-headed manager in the entire EFL, and Liam Manning got angry enough to be sent off to the stands. So if you're driving a manager mad enough like Liam Manning to do that, then, and it's not just I actually didn't make it home to the game yesterday for a myriad of reasons, but from what I gather, it's it's not even the three penalties themselves or the decision to say Manning off. It was mind-boggling decisions in just normal play every 5 minutes throughout the game, really. We've actually had a history with that referee, Steve Stocksby, as well before. I think it was 2 seasons ago away at Doncaster. There was just this farcical situation where he drew the line of the Doncaster were defending a free kick, and he drew their wall line only 4 paces away from our taker, even though it was meant to be 10. And then did the 10 paces themselves and then still put the line short of the 10 paces. So I think, he had some history himself. That definitely affected the game yesterday. In the circumstances, it's still an all right point, to be honest, given how mad the game was. And that, it's definitely when the referee affects the game so much, you kind of have to just take what you get, really.
Of course, absolutely. And I think in a situation like that, as at least it isn't a loss, and at least you can't say that the referee has shafted you in terms of giving you a loss. But yeah, absolutely. Another thing I kind of wanted to pick up on, there was a period, from sort of match week 8 where you beat Fleetwood 3-0. So what was that, the middle of September after the international break? You beat Fleetwood 3-0, Exeter 3-0, Stevenage 3-1, Shrewsbury 3-0. That run of games, you just seem like you were scoring for fun. I mean, even before the international break, there was a 3-1 win against Barnsley in there. You've had a few 2-1s. Seems like you're really, really capable in attack. And like I say, when I watched back the extended highlights for your game against Wickham yesterday, I thought that you played some really, really nice football and some really good sort of swift attacking phases of play. Is that something you would very much agree with, and that's something that's been a part of your side all season?
Yes, but it's not relentless. We kind of like pick and choose those moments in games, really. I would argue that the kind of basis for those more kind of comprehensive victories that you mentioned there is actually our defence.
Okay.
I mean, like also, during the 2021-22 season when Manning did an unbelievable job at MK Dons, they were, when a typical fan hears about Liam Manning, they think about the attractive, forward-thinking football, heavy possession. But the rock behind that MK Don side was that defence and the defensive control that they have in games, and using that kind of clean sheet as a basis. And when you're keeping, it sounds so obvious, but when you're only conceding 1 or 0 goals a match, if you've got enough attacking quality, which we do both on an individual basis, and we've seen enough kind of good patterns of play going forward as well. That's a really solid basis, not just for winning games, but winning them comprehensively.
Well, yeah, I think that's fair enough, and it's something you very much need, especially in this league, because if you give teams opportunities, any team, well, especially any team now that Cheltenham have even started scoring, if you give teams opportunities to get the ball in behind, they're going to be able to put them away in this league, and that's something you very much got to be wary of at all times. So speaking on that, then, what kind of system do we expect you to be lining up in? What's your sort of formation? What kind of shape are you normally playing?
Yeah, so we typically play 4-2-3-1, which is a bugbear of mine because I just generally speaking, I don't really like 4-2-3-1. But sometimes we also play 5 at the back as well. It's kind of dependent on either attacking or defensive shape, but also the opponent. So, for example, against Stevenage, when we won 3-1, we changed to a 5 at the back in that match.
Yeah.
But we've also, changed mid-match before. So at home to Bristol Rovers, we played 5 at back first half, shifted to a 4 at the back second. That's typically to do with what we want from Greg Lee in games.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen, but he's our left back, who's our top scorer this season, and he's really good, kind of sneaking in at the back post to meet crosses that are put of him. It's probably going to be a 4-2-3-1 on Tuesday night. For the last 3 games since Brannigan has been ill, we've had a midfield 3 of McCracken and McGuane sitting, and then Ruben Rodriguez at 10. That's kind of, I mean, out of our 11, even though we've kind of rotated at times this season, the kind of stalwarts of the team, McGuane's always been our 6, Rodriguez has always been 10, Bowden's basically played most of our games this season. I'd be expecting a 4-2-3-1. Not too many changes in terms of personnel from the last few games, even though there might be some tired legs. I mean, I'm really interested, looking forward to it, because we've, apart from I think 6-1 win in 2019. I've just started uni at the time, so I remember that one. Apart from that, we've got a really bad record at Sinsel Bank. You normally do us. Interested to see if we can maybe put that hoodoo away on Tuesday night.
I'm trying to remember what the score was in last. Oh, it was 1-0 last year.
1-0, yeah. It was the first game after we'd sacked Carl Robinson, actually.
Yes.
So we were on a run of, I think, 8 defeats in 9 going into that, and then Craig Short took over, and it was in the middle of the period, which I will see us relegated at some point in my life, but I don't think I will ever see such a long winless run. We went from the 21st of January to the 25th of April, so over 3 months without a win. And I mean, when you look at it like that, it's a miracle we didn't get relegated, really.
Mm.
But yeah, it was at a pretty bad time for us last season.
Well, no, because I remember that because we were still unbeaten at the time at home.
At home,
at home. But we'd drawn. I think we'd won something like 3 leading up to that game, and drawn like 12 at home or something ridiculous like that. And I remember I was sat in the pub before the game, chatting with some other fans, and I had a £1 free bet or whatever it was on Sky, and it's like, right, 1-1 draw. Garrett will score first. They'll equalise. Boom, done. So at one point, I was actually cheering on you guys to score just so I could get a bit up. No, it was so the one time I actually blooming bet on us to draw 1-1, we then ended up holding on to the win. But yeah, and then I remember it was a 2-0 the year before. That was a January game,
and just to kind of tie two of the last points together. I mean, you mentioned about our attacking fluidity this season. At points last season, I don't know how good of an analogy this is, but it was like, honestly, we'd get into the final third of the pitch and it'd be like somebody would throw like golden syrup onto the pitch and we'd just get stopped and our attacking players would just stop moving completely and we'd just completely run out of ideas. So yeah, this season with much more at times in matches, having those more incisive attacking moves has definitely been a breath of fresh air.
Has that been more because of the managerial change and Liam Manning's tactical work, or has that actually been some of the? For example, you've already kind of mentioned Ruben Rodriguez once, and he's a player I very much want to pick up on because I think that's a brilliant signing for you guys in the summer, and I was really expecting to see him sort of kick on. And obviously, he's only got 2 goals, 2 assists. But that's not nothing in this league. So how's he been, for example?
Yeah, he's been brilliant, and it's kind of because we've got several attacking options really, and like at the minute, there's a debate among the fans about is Harris up to it as our centre forward? We only have O'Donkor, who's an academy player, who's very talented, but to come in for him instead, and it's difficult really because I mean everyone's got issues with their number 9 at the minute. Really, like it's an endemic issue at this kind of level in the EFL. So you kind of have to, beggars can't be choosers really, and a solid kind of solution for that is to just get a grafter in there, which is what Harris is, who kind of at his best can facilitate space for other players like Rodriguez, like Bowden, like Goodwin to exploit. With regards to Rodriguez, I really like him. Obviously, he's known for his skill on the ball, his tight feet, him creating space in attacking areas. But one underrated thing about him that I don't think too many people had picked up on with signing him, he's really strong. He's really hard to like muscle off the ball actually, which not only means he's really adept at kind of winning fouls in attacking areas, but like also will mean that quite often opposition teams will either double up on him or even triple up on him, which naturally creates space in other areas of the pitch. So he's been really, really useful in that sense. I'm sure in terms of the tangibles, in terms of goals and assists, that will come in due course. It was a really tidy finish from him yesterday for the goal. So yeah, he's been a stalwart in our starting 11. Bit by bit, we're seeing more of him. But yeah, the quality's been there for everyone to see, really.
Oh, good. No, it's like I say, I was really expectant to see him do really well this year. Obviously it's a bit of a step up for him, but he's one of those players, like you say, actually being able to create the space, even though he might not get the goals and assist numbers on that. But those sorts of players are integral to any team. So it's obviously something that we'll very much see, and it'll be really interesting to see how sort of our shape ends up going up against yours on Tuesday night as well. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. I think. I'll ask you the question first. What's your score prediction?
I'm going to go back to I'm going to go back to your favourite of last season, a 1-1 draw.
I would bite your hand off for a draw if I'm
honest. I know I would also like I would really like a clean sheet if possible, actually, just because before a couple of weeks ago we had the best XGA from open play in the league before, I think yourselves maybe, or Northampton are kind of there now instead. I think we've just been maybe also a bit rocked in recent weeks. I mean, it was 2 penalties yesterday, but the goals we conceded against Wigan and the goal in the last minute we conceded against Blackpool were poor goals to concede. So I think a clean sheet would kind of do us a lot of good in that sense. And if we keep on doing that, I have the luxury of supporting lots of individual attackers with good quality for League One level. So as I say, that's kind of a solid formula for success.
Well, I'm sat here kind of debating with myself on what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with a 2-1 victory. I think you've got the attacking capability to be able to get a goal. Even though I feel like we are very strong defensively, I feel like you're going to get a goal. But I've got a feeling we might go 2 up before you do, and then you get a goal a little bit later on. I just think that you guys playing a 4 at the back, it's possibly going to give us one extra man up.
It will.
A 5-3,
right?
Yeah. So both Burrows and Rowan will end up pushing forward if we play a similar sort of lineup that we have done the last couple of games. So I think we're really going to be able to utilise those spaces in if other players kind of took it in. Like I said, it'll be really interesting to see how we line up, but I think the formation will still be the same. So I think it's something we'll really be able to capitalise against you guys on. So I'm really looking forward to sort of, like I say, see how that lines up. And hopefully it'll work for us quite well. Like I say, nice 2-1 victory, please. But Alfie, thank you so much for coming on. Guys, make sure to go and check out the podcast now will be out. Make sure to go check out all the other stuff. You know where to find everything. Like I say, Alfie, thanks so much. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You too. And best of luck beyond Tuesday night for you guys.
Well, yes. I was trying to be nice and not include the Beyond Tuesday, but no, it's fine. Yeah, same to you then. So like I said, good luck for the rest of the season. And thanks so much for coming on. Up there.
Anytime.